respected holy workers of Sri Sri Thakur, my beloved Satsangi brothers, mothers and sisters, and all the Satsangi lovers present here, I express my heartiest greetings, love and regards to all of you. First of all, I want to thank the organizers to arrange such a beautiful conference to convey the messages, the ideology of Sri Sri Thakur to the youth of our society. If the ideology, the dreams of Sri Sri Thakur is to be materialized, then this youth must come forward and understand the ideology of Sri Sri Thakur, accept him in their life and follow him. This is necessary not only for the development of our society and nation, but also to combat the deteriorations which are being observed in today's youth. I hope this conference will show a new direction to our society, our nation, and such more conferences will be organized in other parts of the country in near future. Now let's come to my slides. I have been asked to speak on the topic, how the mission of Sri Sri Thakur Anukulchandra is essential for today's youth society. I have prepared my slides mainly on 3 parts. In the first part, I will try to explain how these deteriorations are increasing day by day, how they are destroying our youth. In the second part, I will try to explain the reasons behind these kind of deteriorations. And in the third and last part, I will try to explain how the ideology of Sri Sri Thakur is useful to combat such kind of deteriorations. So as we are talking about youth, let's know who are youth. According to UNESCO, the youth are those people who are between the age group of 15 to 24 years age. But according to our National Youth Policy 2014, the age group is a little bit different. It is 15 to 29 years of age. But I think it's not about age. Youth are those people who are aspirational, energetic, restless, thirsting, progressive, who want to change the society and who are innovative. So he is our Acharya Sri Sri Dada, the grandson of Sri Sri Thakur. Though he is 87 years old, but he is still as charming, as energetic, as hardworking as a 20 years man. And in this age also, he doesn't hesitate to move around the country to establish Sri Sri Thakur. And he is trying to change our society, our nation, our world, according to the ideology of Sri Sri Thakur. And I think he is the role model for all the youth of our society. So we are very fortunate that our country is having the largest youth containing population in the world. Around 40% of the total Indian population are between the age group of 13 to 35 years old. And moreover, more than 50% of total Indian population are less than 26 years old. This is because of this largest youth containing population, India is being predicted as the future superpower of the world, because these youth are the main force in the field of politics, economics, science and technology. But instead of such a largest youth containing population, such a bright prediction, why India is still fighting with illiteracy, with corruption, with poverty? Why after 70 years of independence, India is still considered as a developing country, not a developed country yet, because there are some dark sides which are engulfing our youth day by day. These are mainly the excessive materialistic lifestyle by our youth. They are more concerned with their materialistic needs. The self-centric mentality of our youth, most of them are not able to think beyond their own materialistic needs. That there is decreasing morality, rigors, mutual respect and beliefs. There is lack of idealism in our education system. There is increasing juvenile crime, drug addiction, suicide, increasing unemployment among the youth, and there is increasing illicit sexual relations and abuse cases. Also, there are increasing incidents and prevalence of mental depressions. All these dark are destroying our youth. In the coming few slides, I will try to explain how these deteriorations are increasing day by day. If we talk about suicide, you will be surprised to know that India is having the largest suicide death rate in the world. From 1990 to 2016, during this 26 years duration, suicide death has been raised by 40%. And every hour, one student commits suicide in India. But what is more dangerous is that around 63% of all suicide deaths are recorded to be in the age group of 15 to 39 years. That means youth are committing more suicide than other age groups. If we talk about drug addiction and substance abuse in India, according to UN reports, during last decade, there has been 30% increase in the drug abuse in India. Every year, around 20 million children, and every day, around 55,000 children, note the number, it is 55,000 children are being addicted to tobacco-like substances in India. And what is more horrifying is that around 63.5% of all drug addicts who attends the hospital outdoors throughout the country belongs to less than 15 years old. That is, children are being addicted more. Talking about juvenile crime, according to a Times of India report, from 2010 to 2014, during this 5 years duration, that is when the internet access has been made easy, juvenile crime in India has been raised by 47%. And according to an international journal, pregnancy due to illicit sexual relations or extramarital relations has been raised by 50% from 2009 to 2013. And around 49% of these pregnant mothers are below 18 years, that is, teenagers are being affected more. Divorce was not a common factor in our society as Western countries. 10 years back, it was one divorce cases per 1,000 couples. But today the number is 13. That is 13 divorce cases per 1,000 couples. If we talk about mental depression, it is taking the shape of an epidemic day by day. India is having the largest share in the number of mental depression patients in the world. Around 6.5% of total Indian population are suffering from mental depression. WHO is predicting that very soon, every fourth person in the world will be suffering from mental depression. All these deteriorations are destroying our youth. But what are the reasons? Social scientists have ruled out few reasons behind them. They are mainly the competitive and stressful lifestyle and fear of failure. Actually, our daily demands are not determined by our actual necessities of life. Rather, they are determined by people surrounding us. For example, if my friend is having a car worth 10 lakh, then I must have to buy a car worth 12 lakh. If my neighbor is having a 2-story building, then I must have to construct a 3-story building. Such kind of unnecessary competition in today's life are putting extra mental stress on our life and deteriorating our mental health also. There is overpressure in education and workplaces. In today's modern education system, we are putting unnecessary extra pressure to our students from their nursery level itself. Every parent wants their child to score more than 99%. Every child has to be expert in drawing, in singing, dancing, side by side, scoring 99%. And all the parents are trying to fulfill their unsolved desires through their children. Such kind of unnecessary stress are putting our children in excessive mental depression, which later on turned to be a chronic mental depression. And such kind of pressure also being observed in private jobs faced by our youth. There is loneliness, misunderstanding in relations, and both working parents, resulting in less time to look after the children. In today's life, most of the families are nuclear families, and trend of both working parents making our children more lonely. Moreover, our dependence on gadgets, mobile apps, social sites are putting our youth loneliness. I may have thousands of friends in my Facebook, WhatsApp, but in my real crisis, I don't find anybody to stand beside me, to guide me, to help me. This is the real scenario of today's youth. Parental conflict and separation. Sri Sri Thakur clearly says, স্বামী স্ত্রীতে ঝগড়া করে ছেলে পুলে দেখে গুল্লায়েরই সদরদারে বাচ্চাগুলোই রাখে. That is, fighting of parents in front of the kids puts an excessive mental stress to these kids, which later on increases their risk to develop mental disease or to be of distorted character. Education system without idealism. The motto of our modern education system is to produce mark-scoring robots which later on develops to money-earning robots. There is nobody in schools, colleges, universities to teach how to lead a meaningful and balanced life. Sri Sri Thakur says, শিক্ষকের নাই ইষ্টের টান কে জাগাবে ছাত্রের প্রাণ. If the teacher is not having any loving attachment to any living ideal, how he or she is going to teach the students the way of life? Then comes pornography and violence in cinema and internet. The easy and excessive access to internet to children from their early age makes them exposed to pornography and violence in their immature mental stage. In today's life, this is a prime cause for mental distortions of our children. Lack of loving attachments. In today's modern life, we are more concerned with our materialistic needs and ignoring the loving attachments with our dear ones. And we are becoming alone day by day. And the last and most important cause is lack of spiritual practice in personal and family lives. All these reasons are making our youth unhealthy, both physically, mentally, and socially. Long years back, WHO, that is World Health Organization, defined health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. But after making this definition, lots of WHO executives started arguing that this definition is incomplete. They mentioned that there must be a fourth dimension which is missing. They mentioned it as spiritual vacuum. During this debate in World Health Assembly in 1983, Dr. Abdul Rahman Al-Wadi spoke in his speech that material progress in the present world has reached levels unprecedented in the past history or civilization. Yet we find that what prevails in this world are anxiety and apprehension, so much so that one could say that the distinguishing feature of this age is a sense of loss and uncertainty. We have stripped man over the last decades of his spiritual values, and materialism is now in full control of all aspects of our life, to the extent that man feels lost and restless, desperately seeking tranquility and peace of mind. I am quite certain, he concluded, that regardless of what we do to provide health care for the body and the mind, man should remain lost and restless until we provide for the spiritual aspect of life. This debate going on for long years, and ultimately the final definition of health was set as a dynamic state of complete physical, mental, and spiritual and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. That means WHO agreed that without spiritual practice, without spiritual attachment, we all are actually unhealthy. The eminent social scientists and psychiatrists from Western countries were in search how to combat this kind of deteriorations in your society. They performed lots of scientific studies to see how the spiritual practice is effective to combat such kind of deteriorations. Such an eminent psychiatrist, Dr. Alan Bargin from Brigham Young University, he mentioned in his research paper that considerable evidence indicates that religion involvement reduces such problems as sexual permissiveness, teen pregnancy, suicide, drug abuse, alcoholism, and to some extent deviant and delinquent acts, and increases self-esteem, family cohesiveness, and general well-being. More generally, social scientists are discovering the continuing power of religion to protect the family from forces that would tear it down. Such as another psychiatrist from Washington, D.C., David Mower, he mentioned those pursuing a personal relationship with God tend to have improved relationship with themselves and with others. This spiritual practice was the fundamental aspect of our Aryan culture. Spiritual practice in daily, personal and family life under the guidance of Guru was a primary aspect of our daily life. But day to day, we are moving away from this spiritual practice, and the result is in front of you. After 70 years of independence, there has been tremendous increase in the numbers of schools, colleges, universities, degrees. But on the other hand, we are losing our humanity, our morality, our mutual respect, mutual love. There has been manifold increase in the numbers of police stations, police personnel, army battalions, jails, courts, judges. But side by side, there has been manifold increase in the number of all crimes. So many prophets, saints, gurus took advantage in our country. They delivered so many holy books, holy speeches, holy advices. But in spite of all such mechanisms, why our youth are in such condition? Why there is so much deterioration in our society, in our youth? The answer is given by Sri Sri Thakur in Saptanusaran. He says that degeneration of humanity began at the moment when the unseen God was made infinite, and ignoring the seers, the worship of their saints began. O mankind, if you desire to invoke your good, forget sectarian conflict, be regardful to all the past prophets, be attached to your living master or God, and take only those who love him as your own, because all the past prophets are consummated in the divine man of the past, in the present. So this is the main reason. We are more interested to read and listen Ramayana, Gita, Bible, Quran, but not involved with the daily practices which are increase our loving attachment to the living ideal, to Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, or Lord Jesus, whatever. We don't have any loving attachment with the present living ideal, and this is the reason for such kind of deterioration. The post-Diksha activities of Sri Sri Thakur are easy, scientific, and needed process through which a man develops a loving attachment towards the living ideal, and gradually and unknowingly he converts to a transformed character. In the coming few slides, I will try to explain how the post-Diksha activities of Sri Sri Thakur are effective for every individual. The post-Diksha activities are mainly Nam Dhyan, Ishtobhriti, chanting of Shatanugga, eating thankuni leaf, Savasana, that is Dhyan in Savasana, practicing vegetarian diet and addiction-free lifestyle, jajan, education and compatible marriage. Nam Dhyan is the most fundamental and primary aspect of post-Diksha activities. It is the silent chanting of the holy name and meditation with an active adherence towards the master. Through this Nam Dhyan, a person develops loving attachment towards the master, and due to this loving attachment, he is centered around the master, and an emotional drive is born towards the master. And when this attachment matures enough to a passion pervading in nature, all the wills, all the commands of the master becomes prominent in his life, and when the master becomes prominent in his life, he gains control over passionate urges, and this control over passionate urges is the primary step towards gaining a meaningful life. Another way of increasing loving attachment to the master is Ishtobhriti. Through Ishtobhriti, in the hour of pre-dawn, we make our unconditional and volitional offering of Argha for the sole purpose of the Bhog of Sri Sri Thakur. And having to keep this Argha with care and alertness and sending it on exactly the 30th day, a man's mind becomes more alert intuitively. And through practicing this Ishtobhriti, and natural attachment develops towards him. Then comes chanting of Shatanugga. During offering Ishtobhriti, one must chant this Shatanugga or to suggestion. If one reads or chants the Shatanugga daily, especially if one pays attention to the meaning of the content while reading, then slowly it exerts influence over the human mind and helps as well as inspire the person to shape up a sound character in line with these principles. Then comes sitting of thankuni leaf with its stem. In Ayurvedic medicine, this thankuni leaf is known as longevity herbs. It acts as a preventive medicine for a variety of diseases, including stomach problem, nervous system, skin disease, and as an antioxidant, and many other. In case of unavailability of thankuni leaf, one can take tush leaves also. Then comes meditation in Savasana or in corpse position. One should practice this 3 to 4 times a day, and for a duration of 5 to 7 minutes each. The practice of this Shavdhyana increases our mental stability and removes all the mental stress of our day-to-day life. Then comes practicing vegetarian diet and addiction-free lifestyle. The role of vegetarian diet for a healthy and long-lasting life is beyond any doubt in today's life. And for the sake of pleasing Acharya Sri Sri Dada or Sri Sri Baba Dada, lots of us have given up their addictions. Then few words regarding jajan and jajan. Jajan can be expressed as one on very simply that existential thought, and jajan is expressed as to serve one's environment through both words and deeds so that others' lives are exalted towards the ideal. To make our life more stable and expansive, Sri Sri Thakur has put an extra stress on education and compatible marriage. Education is not the literation. Sri Sri Thakur says, to transform the instinct into the reality by means of ideal is education. And regarding marriage, Sri Sri Thakur says, উন্নয়ন আর সুপ্রজনন এই তো বিয়ের মূল যেমন তেমন করে বিয়ে করিস না কো ভুল, that is development and good progeny, these are at the core of marriage. Do not commit a mistake by marrying indiscriminately. You put stress on genetically compatible marriage. In the last slide, I am making very fast, my time is finished. In the last slide, I will try to put few instances of transformation. The first man, Sri Rajesh Choudhuri, I think most of you are well known to him. In his early life, he was leading an aimless life running after political leaders, was addicted to alcohol, gambling, and many other activities. But suddenly and luckily one day he came in touch with Sri Sri Bhavai was inspired to take initiation, and he started practicing all these post-dish activities, and today he is totally a transformed man and working as a SPR of Sri Sri Thakur. The second man is Sri Nupuranjan Dev Burma from my state itself. In his initial life, he was involved with terrorism and insurgency in my state. But he also luckily was initiated to Sri Sri Thakur and started practicing Nam Dhyan, Ishturit and all these activities. He came in touch with Sri Sri Bhavai Dada, and today he has come out from this dark life along with many other youth of our tribal society. And he is also working as an SPR. The third man, Sri Imphal from my state, he was actually one of my patients. He was suffering from chronic mental depression, and he expressed to me that he tried committing suicide several times. I insisted him to take initiation, and after several attempts he was initiated. He started practicing Nam Dhyan Ishtiviti, and today he is leading a happy and divine life and attending satsangs regularly. The fourth man, Sri Anish Ghosh from my home place, just 1 year back he was very much addicted to alcohol, gambling, and leading an unhealthy life. But he came in touch with Sri Sri Bhavai Dada, was initiated, and 1 year back he took Shastuni Brato, and today he has given up all his addictions and attending satsangs regularly. That much. Thank you everybody for your passionate listening, and thank you the organizers. I hope some of the parts of my presentation will be helpful for you. Thank you.
Quick Q&A session. अगर आप में से किसी को भी कोई सवाल पूछने हैं, yes.
नमस्ते सर, मेरा नाम विजय है और मैं उज्जैन से आया हूँ। एक क्वेश्चन है मेरा सर कि हम लोगों की लाइफ में बहुत सारे टीचर्स आते हैं, बचपन से ही हम बड़े होते हैं तब तक एग्जैक्टली मरते हैं तब तक हमारी लाइफ में टीचर्स आते रहते हैं और वो कुछ ना कुछ सिखाते हैं हमें। मैंने सत्संग सर के यहाँ सत्संग ज्वाइन किया, वहाँ बहुत लोगों के टच में भी आया मैं, और बहुत जगह भी मैं गया। ऐसा नहीं कि केवल श्री श्री ठाकुर जी, बाकी जितने भी गुरु हैं सबके पास मेरा एक आध विजिट हुआ है। तो सब बोलते कि गुरु नाम लीजिए और उसका मेडिटेशन कीजिए आधे घंटे, तो वो आपको हेल्पफुल रहेगा। बट अगर मैं मेडिटेशन करने लगा और उनकी फिलोसॉफी को जानने में असफल रहा तो नॉलेज कहाँ से आएगा सर? केवल उनका नाम लेके मेडिटेशन करना और उनकी फिलोसॉफी को पढ़ के नॉलेज गेन करना दो डिफरेंट वेज होते हैं। अगर मैं केवल उनका नाम लेके मेडिटेशन करता रहूँगा तो उनकी फिलोसॉफी को जानने के लिए टाइम मिलेगा ही नहीं। मैं तो सोचूंगा कि मैं केवल उनका नाम ले रहा हूँ, वो मेरे गुरु हैं, तो सारा नॉलेज मुझे अपने आप ही आ जाएगा। फिर मैं वो पाथ, जो सेकंड पाथ है नॉलेज गेन करने का, उनकी फिलोसॉफी को जानने का, वो तो
Exactly. Yes, your question is very interesting. Actually, when you practice meditation with an active adherence to a living ideal, meditation different types का होता है. Somebody practice meditation putting a candle in front of him. Some practice meditation on concentration with a black point in the wall. But if you meditate with an active adherence to the living ideal of Sri Sri Thakur, you will grow a loving attachment, you will grow a emotional attachment to Sri Sri Thakur. And then you will grow an interest to know him, to know what he has said, to know what he wants from you. Then you gradually will try to know his sayings, his philosophy. If you don't have any interest, you won't read. First, you have to grow the emotional, love attachment, and then you will gradually know him